Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd take another look at the workshop and see what was out there. And some very cool creations by a whole bunch of different authors today. Kind of a variety of creations. However, there's quite a few SVs in the mix this week. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to just show a quick update on the Star Trek ship I've been working on. I kind of worked on that for a lot of hours yesterday. Got some more things done and fixed up a problem that I showed in the last video I did on the ship. Anyway, the first creation today is the Star Wars Millennium Falcon Reforged Eden by Achenar. Very cool looking replica here of a Millennium Falcon. Definitely like that. And this is a SV, so it's not terribly big. It's pretty good size, but it's not, giant or anything like that. So I'm thinking this would be totally usable in game. I've looked at some other replicas of the same ship. And some of them were really big and elaborate, and although they looked incredible, probably weren't a good idea for in gameplay because of their size class and other specs, especially with an SV. But yeah, this one's looking like about the right size and everything going on with it to be usable in game. We'll have to see how the specs turn out here. It does have some launchers up here in the front here. We'll have to see what type those are. They're probably rockets, I'm guessing right now, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I like the side entry doors over here. I like this cut in going across here, and it definitely conforms to the Millennium Falcon looks here. And of course the asymmetrical cockpit over on the one side over here, which looks really, really cool as well. Like these kind of holes here, or these round formations into the hull, and a couple areas along the front here, and nice little trim, thin block trim piece going around here as well. If you're looking for alternative color schemes too, this gives you kind of a nice opportunity, to paint like a different color there if you wanted to get some like orange on it. I know it probably doesn't go with the actual ship, but it could be done. There's quite a few things like that where you could accent it with a separate color, like a highlight color or something like that if you really wanted to. But yeah, it looks really cool. This is pretty interesting here too. It's kind of got this this thin block kind of cut in here, and you can see some reverse thrusters kind of behind the mix right there. I don't know if that is. I almost think this is meant to look like it took a hit there, and that's some damage to the ship, which kind of looks pretty cool. Nice little element of detail if I'm getting that right there. And there's some other grays in the mix here in various places as well. Looks like we got a hatch on the top over here as well. Yeah, very cool. Very cool looking ship. And I tried to keep some of these off the ground so I could get a better look at the bottom. But when I spawn them in and they're up in the air, and I'll fuel them up and everything, and then I fly away, I notice that a lot of them just fall down to the ground on their own without me doing it. So I was trying to get things more lifted up, and sometimes it works, and sometimes they just want to fall to the ground anyway if I'm not around the ship. So I'm not sure exactly what's up with that. I think we've seen that issue before though too. I don't know what's going on here. One other feature I wanted to point out on the body here is this really cool looking radar dish here. This is that's cool. I love the blockwork used in that, using these kind of these triangle angled blocks over here, the way the center of the radar was done and how it mounts to this piece over here. That was a nice way of doing that. That is a cool looking radar out of blocks there. I definitely like that. Looks very appropriate to the this ship as well. So anyway, let's get aboard here, and let me go to nighttime here, or kind of close to it, so we can see some lights on the ship here. We'll see how this all works out here. So we got a double door here, and then we are in, and look at this. So yeah, we got quite a bit different texturing on the inside, and it does look pretty authentic. I mean, yeah, it does. I like what the author did here with I don't know, the different textures. It looks technical, but it looks used. Like it's not shiny brand new or anything like that, which adds a lot more character, I think, to it as well. We've got some miscellaneous switches here. These are probably, some of these are probably for the doors, I bet. Or not. I'm not sure what this one's for yet. Alright, well anyway, this is the way in on the other side here, which is different. Oh, we got a switch here too. Is that for the lower area? Oh wow, yeah, that's interesting too. On the floor here is all your like louvered doors there. So that whole area opens up. And we're out the other side here. Interesting though. I like maybe that it's not meant to open up, but it looks really cool because it's like a different texture in the game that gives you something, you know, something different to look at besides the regular block textures. No, but there's more going on here. There's a ramp there too. There's a mechanism here. I got to figure out what switch does this here. Let me hit this one again. And no. And how about this one too? Nope. I was just trying to figure out how this works because it certainly looks like this would open up and you can kind of see there's a ramp right below here that would go down to the ground too. I just assuming there is a switch or something to activate that out. I guess I thought it would be one of these two switches, but oh, here's another one. There it is. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. So ground access coming up into the ship here, off from the one side, which is really cool too. I believe that is accurate to how the actual ship is. So very, very cool setup there. I haven't figured out what these other switches are doing yet, so we'll have to look around a little bit there. Then we're up to the cockpit over here, and it's got a passenger seat. You got to have Hans and Chewie. Oh, we got another switch right there. What do you do? I wonder if that's like the lights. I'm not sure. Could be weapon systems or whatnot. There's probably some information on the actual post on what some of these are for. And you can kind of see a thruster through the walkway there. Oh, look at this area here. Oh, this is nice too. Again, yeah, this feels pretty authentic, I gotta say. I love the piping going on here in this this table with the seats in the corner there. Yeah, very nicely done. A lot of detail on the inside here. I like this other passenger seat over here. You can see the constructor back there. We also have a trauma station, Wi-Fi, detector, some cargo boxes. Oh, I like this setup too. Again, even using some blocks or some blocks as like cargo boxes in the mix there, which is really cool. Got a SV food processor over here. Some interesting piping and framing in the hall here. Again, a lot of detail in this room area, and it looks really, really good. So yeah, this actually has a pretty authentic interior on it as well. Let's keep on going around here. It looks like we got our engine room over here with all our stuff in it. Oh wow, we got a whole barrage of small shield parts in the mix here. Our warp drive, our core blocks, the main core, pentaxid tank, generators, fuel tanks. I've seen some thrusters out there, storage controller. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the back room here. It's kind of neat how it's all done though. It's kind of like a big, kind of looks like a big storage area back over here with obviously some workable parts in there. We got a shield in here, our standard SV shield there. I think that's the only type. Well, yeah. We'll take a look at the shield strength here in a minute too. We got a door going down over here. Oh, this is like a extra spot under the floor for, oh yeah, quite a few things would fit there. You could put in fuel tanks or O2 tanks or, I was going to say more shield parts, and maybe it can have more shield parts. It's got quite a few in here already, but yeah, you can get quite a few of the small shield parts in a creation. Yeah, I like that too. It kind of blends right in. You almost don't see it when you're coming through. There's another one like that over here. Same idea. It's nice having this. This is a good size part like upgrade slot. So, you know, you can dump in so many different kinds of parts there. Looks like we have another one under the floor over here as well. So yeah, quite a few opportunities to stick in more parts into the creation here. Yeah, again, that looks really cool. Very It looks very lived in, which is nice. It's hard to capture that kind of look with Empyrion blocks. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of those normal things here. And yet another door over here too. So yeah, all kinds of places to put in additional parts for all kinds of things. So anyway, let's take a look at some specs here. I'll get the lights back on here in a minute. So we are unlock level 20, size class 3. I have the thrusters off. Let me turn those on. And let me turn that on too. So we do have a switch for the spotlights up front, and also looks like we got a switch for a drill. Let me turn that on as well. Just wanted to take a look at the P menu options there. All right, so back to the specs here. So now we got thruster speed. So we're 54, 36 strafing, 21 lift, 27 reverse, 20 down. 25 fuel tanks in here, so it can go quite a long time without needing a refuel. 13 oxygen tanks. We've got 2 laser drill modules on here, 2 guided missile launchers, 4 laser cannons, and a detector. So I was wrong on that. I thought they might have been rockets. It's actually lasers, which makes probably good sense for Star Wars. 6 hour and 46 minute build time. A little bit of estrium and Zacosium usage, but not a lot. And then your standard stuff there. It is claiming that it does have 2 RCS in it as well. So I bet I gotta do a little research on RCS. Sometimes certain types of creations, their thrusters can count as RCS, but maybe that's only in HVs. I'm a little unsure on that right now. I meant to investigate that a little bit more, but I haven't done it yet. CPU-wise, we are a Core 9 build, and it's coming up really good for Reforged Eden here. So you got about 1,000, 1,100 CPU left over. Not bad at all. Let's take a look at the storage. So we have an ammo controller at 4K. Let's see. Just trying to determine what's boxes and what's storage units. Main hold 10K, nice and even 10K for your main cargo storage. Then beyond that, I believe the rest of these are boxes and miscellaneous other items like the fridges and things like that. Crew storage, gear storage, everything's nicely labeled here, which is also really, really nice. One last thing, I just want to see what your hull material is made out of. Kind of looks like we are running a hardened steel hull. I would say that it kind of looks like that is pretty much consistent throughout the body of the ship here. So it actually moves pretty good too. It does have a lot of thrusters on here. When I seen so many thrusters back here, I was honestly thinking that it was going to be above a Core 9 build, but it's not. It's it's dialed in really nicely for being very usable in game here too. And it flies good too. And that was the thing with some of the other Falcons I've seen in the past, is they were bigger and elaborate, or some of them. And they were so big and elaborate and being an SV that they just were like too big a size class, too slow, too hard to move around, things like that to actually use in gameplay. Now they're great to look at, but this one actually works in game, which is really, really cool. So I'm glad to see that. Also, a couple side notes here. It does look like you can top mount this as well onto a creation here, and it looks like that would kind of work out. Not sure if this would get in the way over here with the radar dish, but well, it depends. I guess if you're accurate when you land it and whatnot, or top mounted, I should say. But very cool creation. Again, this is the Star Wars Millennium Falcon Reforged Eden by Achenar. Very nice. So the next creation today here, this is the Lyc HTS 40 Fellis by Lycanthrope. And that's a cool looking, very aerodynamic SV. Looks like a cargo plane or cargo jet, or, well, ship, I should say. These are spaceships after all. Yeah, that's cool. I'm really liking this, like these big looking like intakes over here on the side, all kind of angled and shaped, and again, very aerodynamic on the front, which I do appreciate on SVs, especially because they're kind of made, generally speaking, to fly in the atmosphere of a planet, and having aerodynamics is certainly going to help with that. and make it look more convincing and realistic. Unless, of course, it's flying with an entirely different technology. But this one's, yeah, it's definitely using rocket engines. It's not like it's not like Empyrion has other technologies in it. I'm just saying sometimes they get hidden and stuff like that. You could say it's like a nacelle type of technology or something like that. But no, this is cool. This looks like a cargo transport creation here for SV. And again, I really like the details going on here. This thruster assembly here looks great. It's like two of these really good looking thrusters anyway, but then the author did a lot of block work over the top of that to kind of tie them in to make it look like one big thruster pod here, and then built out this whole wing design to accommodate for those, and kind of a lot of detail going on in there too. I love this these little thin blocks in here doing this triangle pattern as well. A nice little accent there. And then we got some alternative colors in places here. We got a little yellow in there with like a highlight, and then when you get into the cargo boxes, they're actually more of an orange type of setup. I gotta say, I do like the the landing gear set up here is really cool too. They're kind of centered in the ship, but it's a big meaty landing gear assembly that looks like it would actually do the job, and your center of gravity would be around here, so you can have the nose kind of stick up quite a bit, or not have any landing gear on the front side of the ship, and then it kind of goes beyond that too. So it looks like it would work, and I had no problems from landing this either. So that's cool. I definitely like what the author did here with the cargo boxes too. They I just to take a guess, I bet you there's actually cargo extensions in those boxes, but I don't know for sure yet. Well, we'll look at that in a minute here. Got a good look at the top middle here, and we can see our warp drive through a glass window on the side here. We do have some retractable turrets out. Yeah, quite a few places actually. They're fairly discreet. You don't see a lot of weaponry right off the gates, but it does have them. And again, yeah, really cool looking block formation over here with this intake setup here. I definitely like that. More retractable turrets on the bottom. So this actually has quite a bit of firepower to it too. So it might be a little bit more than meets the eye here. With I was thinking it's not a combat-oriented ship, but kind of looks like it could do some combat stuff. We'll have to see how much of that it could do. So let me get aboard. It looks like the only way aboard here is through the doors on the side. Okay, so that makes good sense here. Let me adjust the lighting. I don't know if I'm tripping something out here. Oh, that's actually a double door. That's interesting. I didn't even realize that. 2 ramps there. So as soon as we come in here, wow, I didn't expect this. So we got kind of a nice open, cool looking interior here as well. Kind of all angled up on the side. I like the texture lights kind of aligning these beams that come through here. A lot to see as soon as you walk in here. So we've got a really cool looking CPU rack here to add in additional CPU as needed. We'll have to see how this plays out here. We've got our main core over here. It looks like our core CPU blocks in that general area. Wi-Fi, a couple passenger seats, a lot more. Another whole rack for CPU on the other side. Several storage or ammo controllers. Wi-Fi. Oh, I already said that. Armor locker, O2, some boxes. And we got stuff above our heads over here too. You can kind of see a couple of generators. Kind of looks like there's more room for generators in this general area as well. So a lot of upgrade potential I'm seeing in this ship. And I think that is it from the interior. And obviously quick access up to the cockpit, which is a nice way to do it, especially using a prefab style cockpit. The only side effect with this, and I had this with many ships too, is when you get out, it's going to force you outside and not back into the ship. But, the amount of hit points these things have versus the glass windows, it's almost kind of steering you towards using these for, if you want some decent armor, because there's so many more hit points in a prefab cockpit than what like glass, like an interior setup with glass in front of it is like factor of like 8 times the strength, which is pretty crazy there. So yeah, this is nice. Right to the point. I'm really curious on how much cargo this moves and things like that too. So let's look at some specs here. Actually, let me fly out on the outside of the hull here. Get the lighting back on. So to start with here, we are size class 5. Unlock level 20, 127 forward, 28 strafing, 75 lifts, 37 reverse, 37 down, 26 fuel tanks, 18 oxygen tanks. It is saying 4 RCS on here. Got a 7-hour and 11-minute build time. It's got to use a little bit of estrium and Zakosian, but very small amounts. 12 retractable minigun turrets. So yeah, quite a lot of defense turrets. Usually these aren't. I wouldn't consider these as an offensive turret. They're usually shoot down the drones, ground troops, all that kind of stuff. Not really for blowing up POIs or anything like that, but more of a defensive setup, and which really fits with the creation here. It again, it looks like more of a cargo transport, or what it was designed to be, obviously with drone protection and things like that. So Core 9 setup here, yeah, actually balanced quite nicely. It's a smidgen over here, but that's not going to cause any problems at all. So yeah, Core 9 right off the gates. Obviously a whole lot of places to add additional CPU blocks, shield parts. Well, I say shield parts. I'm not even sure if this actually has a shield on it. I should really check that out here. So it does have a shield. So 630 on the shield. I want to fly in the hull here real quick. I want to see what's going on in the back. It looks like we have... holy smokes. This is all on the inside? Oh, wow. It's interesting. We got a lot of these blocks on the interior here. It kind of looks like, I mean, obviously you could carve those out and put in more stuff in there. Yeah, we can definitely see the shield and the warp drive from the through that window on the back there. Looks like on the inside here, there's quite a bit of extra room. Like you could add a lot more stuff in here. I'm just kind of wondering if I'm missing some kind of access door at the time into that area. Oh, look at the bottom side here too. Oh, yeah, that's pretty wild. That is wild. I guess I can't tell on the insides of these cargo things if they're actual as cargo extensions in there. But yeah, quite a bit of room in here. Now, as in the size class I thought was a little bit high for the size of the creation when I was looking at it, and I'm thinking what might be causing that is the use of all these frame blocks on the inside. I think these do ramp up the size class a little bit more because of how they're set up, how you can see through them and things like that. So I'm thinking if these were just regular like carbon blocks in place of that, obviously it wouldn't look the same on the inside, so it'd be harder to know where to put stuff and things like that. But I think it would be lower size class if they were carbon blocks and you just kind of filled in there. But obviously there's some extra room on the inside of this as well to put in even more parts. So you can really soup this thing up quite a bit beyond where it is. Very cool looking SV here. But speaking of cargo, we well, actually, okay, we already looked at that. Take a look at cargo here. So we got an ammo controller. Holy smokes, at 32K on this. These are boxes. We got a container. Oh my goodness, 64K. Wow. So we got two 64Ks, 42Ks, plus the 64K ammo. This has a significant amount of SV storage in it. Significant amount. Yeah, if you add up all the numbers there, you're talking almost CV, almost like a 320K. Well, let's see what we got. 364s and 242s. Yeah, I mean, over 200K of storage on this, I believe. I got, yeah. Oh, yeah, about 240K of storage, roughly speaking. That's a lot for an SV. That is no small task for an SV. So this thing is really, really set up to move a lot of cargo, and of course, it looks like it should too. So that is very cool. Nice creation going on here. Let me just check the P menu as well, see if we got any extra options. Doesn't look like it over here. So we got warp drive, shield, we got all our main stuff, we got some utility function on the inside, and a whole lot of cargo, plus pretty solid drone defense setup going on here too. It's got enough turrets and whatnot to deal with it, and even not that, a huge ammo bay for an SV at 32K. That's your maximum limit you can do at a SV storage controller, as far as I know. But if I'm wrong on that, please someone correct me. But I believe 32K was the biggest you could do for an SV controller. But it's been a while since I messed with it. But again, very, very cool ship here. This is the Lyc HTS 40 Fellis by Lycanthrope. Very, very nice. So the next creation I want to show, I'm going to skip over here a second. We're going to take a look at this big structure over here. This is the Star Wars Sith Temple of Pain Korriban by author iFool. And wow, look at this. This is crazy. I did see in the description on the workshop that I believe these statues were made by another author. I forgot to record the author's name though, but it will be in the. If you go check this out on the workshop, it'll have all that information there on who made these statues that were put in front of the building as well. And this is pretty wild here. It's kind of gruesome, you know, the good old Sith, you know, but wow, that's wild. That is really wild. Look at that, kind of like I don't know, different race, and they're bleeding from their eyes, and it's draining down into this pale down here. Wow, that's crazy. That's something you'd see out of some kind of mummy movie or something like that. Well, or Star Wars, I guess. That's wild. So I just had to get a good look at these statues, and look at that. Yeah, that's some shaping right there. I tell you, that looks good. And now the kind of kneeling down, and the feet, and the all the body dimensions, and the that's really good. That's really good. That's some good work there. And what's going on here too? This is kind of something I've never really seen before, like a waterfall. Now this is obviously using like bloody tears here for the water, but the idea of it is really, really cool. Just this all done with blocks over here, so it kind of like falls down into here and then joins in with the color on this other area. Cool use of texturing too. Obviously, you can only do these kind of textures when you're doing bases, because you got to use either concrete or in some cases wood. I think this is mostly concrete textures here. So then we get to the actual temple here. This is just like the decorative front area of it. But look at this. This thing is giant. Wow, this is a big, big place here. Holy smokes. What assembly going on here. Pretty wild how this is all kind of done up in texture too. Very unique looking. And then we've got a lot more of these. I almost kind of think that these are supposed to be kind of the like blood things as well. Although, yeah, I don't know. That's just wild. Again, I don't think I've seen anything like this before. I actually backed up into another part. Oh yeah, I backed up into a statue over there. And what do we got up here? Oh, these are some like big, like alien skull kind of things, or Sith skulls or something. I don't know, but that's wild too. Look at that. And they got teeth down there, and there's the nose and the eyes and the forehead, and wow. There's some just wild shaping going on in here. This is kind of like in the second part of it, and then it goes back into a really big temple over here. Kind of wondering if this is just something that got kind of left over right over there. I've had that problem before too, where you're placing blocks somewhere, and then it makes it sound like you placed a block, but you didn't see the block place, and then later on you discover that it placed a block like somewhere else, like over there. I bet you that's the case there. I don't think that was necessarily supposed to be there. See, yeah, it's not on the other side. A lot to look at here. This thing is massive, though. I got to say, this is a big, big structure. Now, sorry about, I didn't want to, I was kind of on the fence. I didn't have enough level ground to really set this in really good, and I wanted to make sure that this bottom area was visible, so it is. I got it kind of floating above the surface a little bit here. But yeah, it's just kind of lack of enough level ground to fit this whole thing on, and I wanted to make sure the creation was seen here. Let's kind of stroll through here, see what's going on the inside. So just a massive temple, some big columns going up here. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was just kind of taking a look at the texture light formation, looking through this particular block pipe piece here. Makes a pretty interesting looking pattern there. Oh, I never seen that one. I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I just want to see. Oh, and looks like the author's using Xenoblocks behind here to use that to make that type of light. That's cool. I like that. Nice, interesting way to do it. And it looks really different. I had to stop and think about what I was looking at there. Yeah, and these are Xenoblocks on the bottom here, which are giving that kind of glow off from these I don't know, blood rivers, or yeah. Well, these Sith are into some crazy stuff here. And then obviously there's supposed to be ground here, and this is supposed to be sitting flat, so all these pillars would be going down to the ground, but just a really big structure here. I think a lot of what's going on here is for structural integrity. When you have such a massive structure like this, you got to support it. Now, right now, obviously, if I had structural integrity on it and started modifying this, it would, because these beams aren't touching the ground, it would collapse on me. But yeah, it's important to definitely make sure you spawn a creation like this into the ground, unlike I did. But again, I would have just buried a lot of stuff or been forced to kind of undig a bunch of it. So it's just a big temple on the inside. So it doesn't, from what I can tell, it doesn't really have like a big interior with a bunch of rooms or production rooms or anything like that. So it's pretty much a big decorative piece. Certainly could be used as a POI or even converted into some gigantic base. But yeah, that's wild. Very, very cool on the artistic design on this one. And obviously it's meant to just look neat. Yeah, really, really cool. Really cool. So I will look at the specs just to get the size class and stuff, but it's not like I don't think it's going to be full of like storage and that kind of thing. It's not really for that. So to start with here, it is size class 30, so it is a big creation. Unlock level 3, so yeah, it doesn't really have any other parts on it. It's pretty much blocks, and it's got like a single fuel tank to keep the lights on. Probably a single generator somewhere as well. 29-hour and 5-minute build time. It's largely built of stone, so a huge amount of stone, some iron, and some Xeno material as well for the Xenoblocks we've seen in there. So CPU doesn't really, I mean, it uses as little CPU as possible, so it's a core 1 with almost all of that core space left over. So you could certainly add a lot in here. It does have a single generator, single fuel tank. It does have 55 lights in here. Just want to make sure that here. Let's speaking of lighting, let me just take a look at this in different light. I just want to see if anything lights up. There, it did say I had quite a few lights on it, but I wasn't really seeing any. Obviously, this lights up down here. That's a trip, though. You walk through here, it kind of looks really kind of eerie and scary going through here, or alienish, or Sith-like. So yeah, maybe yeah. I don't know. Those aren't lights either. These are actually blocks and not. At first, I thought those were like the extended form LCDs, but they're actually blocks making up those lines there as well. Anyway, let me get the lights back on. Yeah, very cool. Again, this is the Star Wars Sith Temple of Pain, uh, Korriban by iFool. Very nice, very nice. All right, so next creation here. Let's look at another SV. Look at this little bugger here. This is the CF 105 Aerol Starter RE by Chartranos, Chartranos. And this is a great looking SV, I got to say. It's small and compact, but really, really detailed. And the author used an awful lot of curvy blocks with it, which really just work for this. Like almost like you don't see like any voxel blocks. It's just a smooth haul, all rounded. Almost looks like it could be in a different game kind of thing, which is really, really cool. I like this. Oh, this is really nice too. Love this this front nose on it too. That's some interesting block work. Obviously, it's taken advantage of some of the new curvy blocks added to the game a few months back. Nice color scheme on it. The wing design looks really cool. Straightforward. I like the use of the forward and reverse thrusters in the middle of the wing parts. And then this other assembly here, which almost kind of looks like some kind of like, I don't know. It's cool. It kind of looks a little bit like it could be some kind of missile or something like that on the side. Cool looking wing parts on the edges here with that other piece in the middle. Kind of intake on the top there. Nice looking tail section. Yeah, very nice looking SV here. Just kind of compact and to the point. Got a couple Gatling guns on the front and a spotlight. Some extra decorations here on the bottom. Looks like we have a an upgrade slot over here. So this could fit a shield in here, a SV shield for sure, and maybe like a CPU block or something right below that as well. Generator right above there, so that's kind of cool. Nice little access area. Don't believe it has any interior in it. It's just again the prefab cockpit. Just fly through a little bit more of this, see what's going on in the back here. We do have some functionality here too. It looks like we've got a storage controller and a fridge and a constructor. I think you would have to access these via the P menu in this particular game, or the device menu, I should probably say. Yeah, very, very cool. Nice, nice slick looking design there. I'm really curious on its specs too. So it did say it was a starter. So let's see what's going on with that. So unlock level 10, size class about 0.5. So yeah, definitely there. So unlock level 10, that is definitely in starter realm. 55 forward, 14 strafing, 29 lift, 55 reverse, 14 down, 1 fuel tank, 1 oxygen tank. It's got a detector and 2 Gatling guns on it. 30. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, this is very starter. This is cool. This is cool. 34-minute and 8-second build time. No rares whatsoever. All the pretty much the easiest things you can get in the game on a starter planet on the first 4 things. Now cobalt, you'll get that from the POIs and things. It's a small amount of cobalt. It's probably required for the thrusters and things on this creation to even make it function. So very inexpensive creation to bring in. Good scouting ship. And it looks like, you could add in a shield to it. I do believe too. You got the upgrade slot in there as well, and it does have a constructor. Despite the how cheap it is, it actually has a full-blown SV constructor in it too, which is pretty cool. CPU wise, holy smokes! Yeah, this is core. Yeah, just your basic, not even a basic core, just your main SV core, and that is it going on in here. And that explains why it's so inexpensive as well, too. It had very limited CPU to work with, and the author made everything kind of work there for a really legit starter style scouting SV that can be have some upgrades to it. I mean, you're not going to turn it into a Psycho POI buster or anything like that, I don't think. Well, someone would probably find a way to make it do that. But very, very nice looking, stylish looking, useful starter SV for the game here. One other spec here I wanted to take a look at is its storage. So we got an ammo controller at 3422, and it looks like that is it in here. Just see if there's any P menu options. No P menu options. Okay. And it doesn't have a shield in its stock. I don't believe this also has a warp drive. You couldn't have it cost this with a warp drive in it. It would need some more stuff for the warp drive. So yeah, very nice, very nice. Again, the CF105 Aerol Starter RE by Chartranus. If I said that a little more correctly, maybe that time, I don't know. Anyway, very, very cool creation. So the next one here, this is a pretty interesting ship. This is the St. Louis by Leo, or Leyo. This is a pretty cool looking, I would say, combat-oriented CV here. Pretty long. I've got this actually floating above the ground. This one decided not to fall to the ground on me like some of the other creations did when I was spawning them in. Yeah, a lot of weaponry going on here. Pretty long, low-profile ship here. It almost kind of reminds me of a, or at least this front cockpit here reminds me of a front cockpit on a particular Star Citizen ship. Maybe the Carrick, or a different one. I'm not sure, but it kind of reminds me of that. I like the glass layout and the pattern going on here. Obviously, there's a pilot seat there too. I wouldn't doubt if this ship has more than one place to fly it at. And then we got some boarding ramp doors on the front here. Quite a lot of thruster setups going on the bottom here for lift, like different like thruster modules almost, because there's a whole bunch of them grouped together. Looks like we'd have additional places for more turrets in various locations on the ship here as well. I got to assume right now that these would be the center of turret positions going throughout the ship here, so that would be quite a few more you can add, even on as little as we looked at so far. And we got some larger reverse thrusters there, quite a few strafing thrusters in various locations. Up on the front, some more down thrusters, quite a few turrets. Again, a lot more turret locations on this ship, especially on the top side. Holy smokes. Yeah, this thing is really, really set up for a lot of turrets. So, yeah, thoroughly in the realm of a combat CV, from what I can tell so far. I will have to see what other utility function it might have aboard. So we got a second set of side entry doors over here as well. And let's take a look at the back here. So it looks like, kind of looks like we have a hangar out the back. Cool looking block work going around here with the wings, or the I don't know, extension or wing shapes here, and over here as well. And again, turret position. They're just all over the place on this ship. And it looks like the way they're set up, that they're kind of designed to give you a good front-facing line of sight too, because they're all either offset or one block row above the one in front of it. So yeah, I think all these turret positions would be solid as well. And I don't even know how many additional turret positions are on here besides the weaponry already on the creation, but it certainly looks like it's going to make short work of some things, especially if it was fully equipped with all its weaponry. Yeah, very cool looking design here. I like the color scheme as well. Kind of that three color scheme. You got the your dark grays, and then the kind of the darker reds, and then also your lighter grays in the mix, giving it some character. A lot of texture work going on in various places on the ship as well, and some texture lights to add a little bit more detail and things to it. Quite a bit of lift thrusters going on in the back part of the ship here. This is a pretty big ship, actually. Look at all those forward thrusters too. They're using all the large thrusters. Well, I don't think these are technically called large in the game. Yeah, advanced thrusters, I should say. Yeah, the smaller, the 1x2s are actually called the large thrusters, which is a little off-putting there to me. I would think those would actually be small, and the 1x1s are the tinies. But anyway, let's get aboard this and see what's going on here. So there's a lot of different ways on the ship, but I guess I'm going to come through the hangar door here, and we'll kind of try to work our way from the back of the ship to the front of the ship, see what's going on in here. So we got a pretty good open hangar space. Some side areas to park multiple smaller like SVs or HV creations in here. And all kind of lit up here with more of a kind of a orangish yellow lighting, which is really cool. A lot of texture work done on the floor and things like that in here. Let's go through here. So this, I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to stay on this floor as long as I can, and then go up a deck. So over here, okay, so this looks like a pretty serious shield room here. I would say these are all for large shield parts, medium shield parts, small shield parts. So it doesn't look like it has, well, I don't know. It's hard to say yet. But, yeah. What would we get out of this? So it looks like we'd get 4 medium shield parts in this room area, 6 large shield parts. No, I'm sorry, 8 large shield parts. Maybe I'm wrong on the medium shield part here too. This is 3 blocks tall. No, I think that's right. So you get yeah, 2 per side, and then obviously 8 small shield parts in the corners up there. And we got our main shield right in front of that. If we walk down the way here, we've got looks like our RCS, our warp drive, some storage controllers, our main CPU core. And we got kind of a, oh, look at all this glass work going on the sides over here. Interesting. So I guess I am going up a floor right now. I'm going to get lost now. I always try to go through these ships in the most organized fashion, but then you run into a hallway like this, and you can't just like not go up it. So then you get lost, or at least I get lost. You know, I get lost in a one-room building too. So that's cool. So kind of a elevated position up here. Looks like a lot of stuff going on here. Control room type of thing, I would say. And let's just see if we got the same thing on the other side or not. Yep, kind of like a big control room. I was kind of looking for like mainstream parts. Obviously, there's a cargo box in these rooms, but I'm not seeing anything else that actually is like production or something like that in this general area here. So, and this does not continue forward, or does it? No, that's the way I went. Okay, so let's head back over here to the rear hangar here. And let's catch that elevator. I thought I seen an elevator here. Am I mistaken? Okay, so wait a minute here. Okay, so this is the way we kind of came up into there. No, it's not. This is all new. Okay. I took a weird turn there. Sorry about getting lost. I warned you. Okay, so here's our side doors. This is what I meant to take here. So is this a real one? I just want to see if that is an actual repair console. It is. I wasn't sure. There's a deco piece that looks an awful lot like that too. So that's a legit repair console right there. And we got some, looks like some tanks over here. I like this hallway design. That's neat. How the blocks kind of makes a 5-sided pattern going in here, which is really cool. Nice way to do that. Looks like we've got a fuel room off to the side over here. Obviously, I mean, there's gonna be places to add additional parts if you need some. Some more control consoles. Here's one of our side entry doors over here, with some utility function by it with our O2 and med bay. And yeah, this hallway design kind of continues. It's a cool looking hallway design. Again, I like the use of the angled walls and how the ceiling wraps around. That looks pretty cool. A little wider hallways too. I've been doing that a lot, especially on larger creations too. Just widening the hallways up so you can, it's amazing even going to 2 blocks wide how much more options you have for a hallway. Which is kind of neat. And that's kind of why I've been doing it, only if the creation's big enough to fit it, though. So we got a gravity generator over here, some more thruster access, some more fuel tanks or whatnot. Side room here. And then it kind of angles over here. I like to see this on creations too. The author did some pretty intricate block work here to form this angle and to match the general angle of the hallway too. Got a ventilator right over there. Looks like we're getting into kind of a this would probably be our rear bridge, I would say, or main air. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say yet. So we do have a pilot seat up here. It kind of looks like this would be like a secure bridge, but it's embedded in with production. It looks like on the sides here too. So it looks like 6 advanced constructors lined up over here, and some cargo boxes and things like that. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Very interesting. We got a door coming off the front. Wow, this keeps on going. This is a long ship going forward here. So looks like we got a crew room over here. Quite a bit of bedding in there. And wow, different room over here. So this looks like our medical bay. All our specialized equipment's in here, plus some extra decorative pieces there. I really want these things to do something in the game. They look neat. I would like to put them as a legit part in the game. But what legit part could that actually be for the game is the question. I mean, obviously they could probably work as a bed, but there's not much use for a bed in the game. So I don't know. It would be really neat to have these as a usable part. Some of these deco parts, it's kind of a shame that they're just like decorative and don't really do anything. So over here, it looks like we got a teleporter. Very cool. Just a note to the author too. Oh, maybe there's a switch somewhere on the ship or something to turn this on and off. These things suck a lot of power. It's really cool to put these things on a sensor or at least a lever. But a sensor is probably the most practical, and you have the sensor position covering this. So as soon as you walk on here, it turns it on. But if it's just on all the time, it kind of continually sucks power from the ship, and it doesn't need to, basically. So it's something I discovered a while back when building myself, and someone gave me a heads up on that too, because the first time I put in a teleporter when it was new to the game, I didn't realize how much power they took. So we got armor repair over here, armor locker on the other side, fridge, food processor, and wow, this looks really kind of neat here too. Interesting interior, definitely. So now we're getting to our front access doors that we've seen from the outside, and we're still moving forward here up into that first-person bridge towards the front of the ship here. So yeah, so if you're up here, you got a very good visibility flying around. But if you're getting into a combat situation, you'll probably be piloting the ship from the rear cockpit, or I wouldn't say rear, but the one further back here. We got a bathroom off to the side over here as well. There's all kinds of couple bathrooms. Yeah, we've seen that room already. I don't know if there's multiple decks above and below me here. Oh, well, we haven't been in here. So we got a, looks like, what I got there, 27 grow plots over here. So we got a farming section too. So it does get into some farming. It's just enough to build, yeah, that would probably work out pretty good to build some ration packs and things like that. And then we're kind of, oh, well, we're kind of not. We've sort of seen this room from a different angle walking through the floor already here. And then we're back to the main rear hangar. We just kind of fly. Yeah, this is a pretty thin ship, so yeah, I wouldn't necessarily expect to see another floor up here, and I just thought I'd double check that. Not yet. Or below. Okay, so yeah, pretty much straightforward. Going all the way down the long length of the ship here. This would actually work out pretty good though, because I mean that other cockpit, the internal one is. Well, let's see where that is actually in the ship. So that'd be in front of this room. Sorry, I'm probably giving you nausea flying around like I am, but okay, so this cockpit is about here. So you've got all this in front of you, and where you're flying the ship over here. So yeah, a lot of defense there. Now obviously it didn't have a lot of those big shield parts put in. It's probably CPU related. So let's turn on some lights and look at some specs here. So Okay, now this one also on the workshop, before I look at it too much more, it was deemed for vanilla or Reforged Eden. So it said it could work in Reforged Eden. So stock, it doesn't have any of the cores or even a Core 9 setup or a Tier 4 setup in vanilla. So it's basically, you got to add all your own CPU cores to this one to hit this CPU in either vanilla or Reforged Eden. Now vanilla be very easy. You put in 4 4 advanced CPU cores, and you'll be at 10 million CPU. And I'm sure this will fit in it. Reforged Eden is going to require quite a bit more stuff to equal that CPU. You probably need some aux cores or quantum cores, and plus the Core 9 setup. So, and again, this ship is craving CPU. It's got so many open weapon and turret positions and things like that. It's pretty crazy there. So on the P menu, we got a full opening. I just wanted to see what that was about. I don't know if that is something to do with the hangar. Oh, okay. So that just opens up the hangar door on the back. It would go all the way down to the ground. Keep in mind, I got this floating off the ground right now, so we could see the bottom side a little better here, which I was trying to do with a lot of the other creations too, but they just, they refuse to stay in the air. I think the only way I could really do that is show them in space. I do like to having the option of to adjust the lighting on the planets. So all right, so let's look at a bunch of specs here. So start with unlock level 25, size class 6, 53 forward, 30 strafing, 47 lift, 27 reverse, 21 down, 126 fuel tanks. A lot of fuel tanks in this ship. 2 oxygen tanks. So yeah, you could fill it up and go a very, very long time. Got a pretty a lot of weapons on here. It kind of looks like a lot of these are set to the default game weapon limits for vanilla. So that's why you're not seeing like 30 advanced laser cannons on here. I think these are set to the weapon limits, so nothing's trying to go over or make it special in one way or the other. It is showing 1 RCS on here as well. 31 hour and 15 minute build time. It's going to take, quite a bit of estrium and zirconium. It's odd that it's being shown at the top here. That's weird. It's normally down the list here. So that's, I'm not sure why this one's coming out a little different. We do have 27 grow plots in here as well. Obviously, it had warp drive and a shield. Speaking of the shield, the stock shield on here is 4150. Obviously, it had a huge shield room that had a whole lot of shield parts, big shield parts, and things like that too. Of course, when you add a lot of shield, you're going to need more generators and stuff like that. I didn't actually see a location in here for a fusion reactor, but keep in mind this was primarily intended for vanilla, I do believe, but can work in Reforged Eden just the same. So yeah, we looked at the CPU. Let's take a look at your storage. There we are. So we got an ammo controller at 8K. Uh-oh. Harvest controller at 8K. And I think a lot of these are boxes over here. So that's going to be a problem. And why I say that on the ammo controller especially is this thing's got a lot of guns on it, and it's designed for a whole lot more guns. You're going to need a lot of ammo storage for all these guns, and 16K is really not going to cover that. Not for long. Like maybe a couple rounds if you had, But a ship like this, especially with its weapon potential, I would definitely want several 320K ammunition bays on it. So definitely, I do think you would definitely want to have a lot more ammo on here. It's kind of so I would say that's like the this was 8K, yeah, or maybe something just broken. I'm not sure. Maybe there is a lot of cargo extensions, but it's kind of like just showing the controller, and like there's no cargo extensions on either one of these, at least stock right now. So yeah, you definitely want to add cargo extensions to these controllers. And I would have, again with ammo, I would have a ship like this with all these turret positions. I would, at minimum 2 320Ks, but upward 3 to 4 especially if you populated all these open turret positions on here. So anyway, very cool ship though. Looks like it could be a pretty meaty, devastating ship in to blow up stuff, plus give you a fair amount of production capabilities with 6 advanced constructors in there, 27 grow plot farm, obviously the warp, a lot of shield upgrade parts, and a whole lot of extra turret positions to put on here, as well as all the turrets that are already on here, and some launchers as well. So yeah, very, very cool ship here. Again, this is the St. Louis by Leo. Very, very cool. So the last creation today, this is a little one. This is the Ghoul MM by Braganator. And it's just a small miner. I thought it looked really, really neat and detailed, and I liked the roundest sidewalls on it here too. So we got an SV miner here. Super detailed. Super detailed. It looks, yeah, yeah, very nice. Just all around, just looks good from any direction you look at the creation in here. And it's pretty compact. It looks like it would be a good, useful miner in game for an SV miner. Kind of looks like we've got maybe some potential areas on the sides over here to add some turrets, and another one on top, or maybe a long-range radar or whatnot. And this one also was deemed for vanilla, but I spawned it in Reforged Eden anyway because I had mostly all Reforged Eden creations, and I wanted to see how it would check out. If the specs were toast, I was going to split up the video into like a vanilla area as well. But I looked at the specs on this one. I'll show you that in a bit here, but it actually works perfectly fine in Reforged Eden stock. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that. So this totally works in vanilla. It was built for vanilla, actually. Definitely like it. I kind of like the unusual thing the author did with the spotlight too. Only put on one, but kind of a filler block on the other side. I like that little bit of change there, and you don't need 2 of these. One of these is so blinding it's ridiculous. So 2 just makes it even more blinding and hard to see. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it's nice, and I know how dark these planets get and stuff, and you certainly want some light, but yeah, it's just the way the lighting effect is done. It can make it incredibly hard to see depending on, what the atmosphere is like at the time as well. So yeah, just take a look at some other things. Looks like we got a O2 dispenser here on the back. Nice landing gear. We're running all these larger thrusters on here, which is a cool thing. I mean, it's a little minor, but it's running the better type of thrusters. So I bet you this is going to scoop pretty good, even in Reforged Eden. Of course, it's going to be faster in vanilla, but that's just kind of a give me there. So here, let me just let me fly inside of here. Obviously, there's no interior, so it looks like the interior space is totally used for all kinds of parts and storage controllers. And we do have a pentaxid tank in here. Wasn't sure if we had a warp drive in here or not. It's deceiving. Sometimes I look at a creation and think, oh, that couldn't possibly fit a warp drive, and then lo and behold, there's a warp drive in it, and somehow it just barely fit. I don't see one in this one, though. I do see a shield. So we got a shield and a pentaxid tank in here. So, all right. Well, anyway, let's take a look at some numbers here, see what's going on. Pretty low. I didn't mean to look at the CPU first, but unlock level 15, size class 0.38, so pretty small in size class here. 85 forward, 42 strafing, 85 lift, 85 reverse, 85 down. See, this is in Reforged Eden, and this thing was kind of like set for vanilla. I can't imagine how fast it would be in vanilla, because the specs here in Reforged Eden are really, really good. And if you take a look at your side specs here, your roll, yaw, and pitch too, they're very high numbers as well. 4 fuel tanks, 2 oxygen tanks. We got 6 laser drills on here and a detector. 1 hour and 31 minute build time. That's not bad for an SV miner at all. Uses a smidgen of estrium and zirconium, but very little. Don't see anything in here that would make this super crazy expensive or anything. And yeah, and take a look at our CPU. This isn't Reforged Eden, and it's like I swear it's built for a Reforged Eden. I mean, just the way the numbers are coming out, it totally fits and it works. And I imagine this is probably 2 improved cores. I'm guessing in here, which would probably be kind of dual compatible between vanilla and Reforged Eden on this creation here. So yeah, very nice, nice setup there. Just all the numbers are really working out in here. No, and I'm a little wrong. Actually, maybe am I wrong on the vanilla thing? It does have a basic CPU core in here as well, plus the 2 improves. Maybe that works in vanilla as well. That's interesting setup, but it certainly doesn't need any advanced CPU cores or anything like that in the mix. I'm really curious on its storage. It's got a lot of lift power and things like that. So, what do you have for storage? So, okay, got a 1K in ammo storage, just fine on there. Got a harvest controller at 15K. So, yeah, you know, everything just really checks out on this as a really good usable miner in game. Whether you're I'm almost thinking vanilla would have a problem with it because it's got the 2 improved cores and the 1 basic core, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm never in vanilla really to look at those kinds of things. But anyway, you look at it, this looks like a pretty useful miner, SV miner, low cost, good looks, right specs, really good specs on it. Places to add like a long range radar on here or something like that. Couple turrets. It already had an ammo box in it. Obviously, it doesn't have a lot of turret positions or anything like that, but the ammo, this only has like 1K, a little over 1K of ammo storage on it. But you know, for a couple minigun side turrets or something like that, that's good enough for a creation like this. It's SV ammo is quite a bit lighter than CV ammo as well. So anyway, very nice creation here. Let me just look at one last thing. I just want to see if there's any P menu options in here. No P menu options. Okay. All right. Well, other than that, again, very cool miner. The Ghoul MM by Braganator. Very cool. Looks good. It kind of reminds me of I don't know. It looks nice. I was gonna say it reminds me a little bit of like some of the Scar stuff, but not really. It's different than that. It's got different color scheme. It's a little cleaner. Oh, excuse me. I coughed a couple times there. All right, so let me look on the map. I'm going to fly this way. I'm going to show you some updates I did to the Star Trek ship I've been working on. It does have an official name now. So in comments, I listed some names yesterday over there, and the majority of people that were picking one of these names at least were picking Europa. So although I didn't say it, that was kind of my favorite of the list of names as well. So I ended up going with Europa. So I built the LCD for this over here on the front here. So we got the USS Europa, NCC 11755. This is just a random number, by the way. So that's in place. Something that I learned since I did the Proxima is the alpha transparencies on LCDs. So what I did do is I set this with a little bit of an alpha transparency, which I thought it made it look way better than the same type of LCD that was on the Proxima. In fact, the Proxima would look a whole lot better if it just had even like a 90% alpha on it. It makes it look a whole lot better rather than pitch black. It's kind of that grayish look, and you can kind of see through it a little bit. Anyway, I built that. That took way too long to do. The reason why this LCD takes so long, well, LCDs, there's 3 of them. I did exactly what I said I was going to do, is split it up into 3 LCDs and make the letters bigger, and they are. And if you compare this one to the one on the Proxima, it's just bigger. It's wider. And it took all 3 LCDs to kind of put this out on there, and each LCD is a 5x5 area. And the reason why I had to use 3, now you would think it should be 15 blocks wide then. No, it's not actually 15 blocks. It's about, 11 I think, or 11 blocks wide. But these big letters and stuff, they get very finicky when they're near the edges of a LCD and often will disappear on you. So I had to use 3 on this anyway, and that gave me a little bit of wiggle room to position all these letters. And the hardest part about this isn't necessarily like every letter on here has to be kind of like it's its own thing. It has to be rotated at a particular angle, positioned at a particular place. The hard part is trying to get it all to line up on both sides. And I had to, why this took so darn long to do wasn't so much of even doing the curve around the letters. It was trying to make like this side even with this side over here so it's centered right. And, you know, when you start, and I kind of had to start from one side, work my way over, and then readjust everything over and over and over and over again until I finally kind of got it dialed in where it's centered and lined up correctly. And I still see a couple little things like it looks a little bit wonky over by the NCC, like the curve should be a little bit better there, stuff like that. So I might tweak it a little bit more. So some other things. On the last video I showed on this as well, I brought up the fact that the ramp to the hangar didn't go all the way down to the ground. Well, needless to say, it was really bugging me. So I fixed it. I got it going all the way to the ground now. I had to modify the ship a little bit, but I found a little bit better, easier solution to do it. And it's kind of reminded me of some of the older ships I did, like one of the Cerberus ships, where I did something like this, where I could kind of bring out the hangar door and do a bit of a ramp out on the outside of the hangar, so I could lower down the ramps itself to make them work. And that's basically what I did, and kind of went over this area of the ship here and try to tweak that out a little bit better. And it does have a unique feature that I'm not doing anything with it right now, but technically speaking, especially if this little deco stuff was out of here, this could be some kind of small top mounting thing back here. I didn't really like work that or anything, and I wasn't really necessarily intending on working that, but it's kind of giving me the idea that, well, you know, you could park something there and legitimately move it around from that location. So another thing that I did do is I set up the whole weapon system on here. So it's got all its turrets, I believe, that it's going to come with. And I got them all into groupings. In fact, I used a whole lot of signals on this one. So we've got our running lights. I added some running lights to this as well. Let me just turn those on. So we've got our positron turrets. I'll go over each weapon group here. Let me know what you feel about the guns I put on here. I didn't want to use any of the heavy or more advanced versions of these guns. Stock, I figure players can do that. But I'm just kind of talking about the types of turrets I picked and where they're located. So with positrons, you've got 8 up top there, and then you've got another 8 below. So 16 positron turrets kind of in the front center area, except for the very center turrets, like these 2 here. Here, I'll get out the next group here. We do have a section, which I just called as drone defense. So drone defense turrets. Oh, I must have never assigned these to it. Oopsie. Oh, man. Here, hold on here. Drone defense. Let me get these 2 going here. They were supposed to open up with that. So there's a couple cheaper minigun turrets there, and this one's also supposed to open up. Apologize again. I thought I had this all wrapped up. I guess not. So they were supposed to be assigned to drone defense. So yeah, so you got a little bit of some minigun turrets just around to shoot at the various drones. And the positrons, you know, if they're set up, you know, you'd have those shoot at the hull of the enemy ship. So that's the first 2 groups. Also with the drone defense, it has some other minigun turrets like back over here. There's a couple more off the back sides in this general location. And then I added like 6 different sentry guns around the ship as well, which are part of drone defense. That's just what I'm calling it. So you got a couple back over here by the hangar. There's a couple more down below kind of the nacelle pylon area. There's a couple more up in the front corners of the creation over here, out of the way of the launchers over there. So that's kind of how I'm setting that up right now. For just, and that whole weapon group is really just meant to shoot at like drones and enemy personnel and stuff like that, but not actually shooting at enemy ships with it, stuff like that. So the next grouping here is we've got our rocket turrets. So let's get that chunk out. So that adds in basically 6 rocket turrets on the top of the creation, and then another 8 rocket turrets on the bottom over here. So giving you 14 total rocket turrets on here. And then the next weapon group, there's a lot of weapon groups. We got our plasma turrets. So I don't know. See, I was a little mixed on whether I should put any plasma turrets on here or not. But it's got a row of 6 plasma turrets kind of around this general area here. Obviously, these other ones over here are more drone defense turrets or your minigun turrets. And then, what else do we got on here? We've got our artillery cannons and our laser cannons. These are all obviously all launchers, but they each got their own group. And there is got 10 laser cannons and 12 artillery cannons on here. And the artillery cannons are mostly set to the back part of the creation, or at least 8 of them are over here. And then there's some more artillery cannons in these areas kind of towards the back of the saucer. And then the laser cannons are, there's a grouping on either side of the ship over here, and then also in the front area of the saucer, another 6 up in the front area of the saucer of the ship. Now I did add some more LCDs on the inside as well, but I'm still working on stuff on the inside. I'm going to try to do some kind of preview here before I get to the workshop on all the inside stuff that's been going on. And a lot of things just keep on blindsiding me, or you know, like it is taking longer than I thought it was going to do to finish up all this stuff, but it's really getting close now. I also rigged up like these doors over here and stuff too. So there's a bunch of stuff that I worked on probably for a good solid 8 hours on this ship yesterday to do that. I still got like 2 primary LCDs to do. I did get all the elevator LCDs in place as well. So it's kind of I took the design I used in the Proxima, modified it a little bit on the coloring and stuff like that. But we got LCDs going to all the main decks now. It was a real challenge to find locations to put these LCDs in to line up correctly on the wall here. But you can see some of these decks, like the saucer main here, it's got just tons of stuff. This is such a big deck on the ship. And then it goes all the way up to the bridge over here, and the captain's quarters and the transporter room and all that stuff. But it is really getting close to being completely done now. I can almost taste it, but I got 2 larger LCDs to do and several more like room LCDs to do, like room description LCDs to do, like put them on by a room or on the floor near a room or something like that. But yeah, it's really getting close. I don't exactly know when I'm quite releasing this yet. I mean, I kind of wanted to try to get it out this weekend. But I don't want to commit to it, because if I get on a tangent or, you know, start working some other things, and I just don't want to stress about it and or just overlook something that could have been improved and it wasn't, because I was trying to force it out the door. So anyway, it's really, really close. Please let me know what you think about the weapons on it. One other last little detail I want to talk about real briefly, and I think this is what was causing me some trouble before. Let me get in here and look for the, okay, so we got, you notice this is in red right now, and I believe the reason why it's showing in red, and I had it show in red at one other time, and then it went away, and I didn't exactly know what took place or why it was in red the first time and why it wasn't the second time, is it's coming down to this version currently. I put in all the CPU cores to balance out the CPU of the ship. So, you know, with the 183K shield. So the shield did drop a little bit because of the positron turrets as well. Each positron turret, for whatever reason, takes away a little bit of the shield. So I think this was at 187 shield, and because of all the positron turrets added to it, the shield dropped to 183. Not a big deal there, but, you know, it's just one of those things. But I believe why it's shown as in red is because I went through and added in all the CPU cores to it. So I've got them all. I'm lost again. out in the core room here, and I really had to put a lot of stuff in here. In fact, to balance the CPU out with this weapon loadout, with all the shield parts in place, all the weaponry in place, everything, basically everything is in place. The CPU, here, let me get to devices, and let me sort this here real quick. So we got 10 auxiliary cores, and it's gonna, why doesn't it show me the other cores there? Core systems probably here. And I believe 16 quantum cores. I believe that is the count here on the quantum cores. So yeah, it needs a lot of CPU. A lot of CPU. This is not light on CPU at all. So now keep in mind, this is with everything installed, all the constructors and things too. So there's no missing parts on the ship besides a repair bay. It's the only thing it doesn't really have. So it shows in red if I have these parts installed. So I think I'm going to have to release this ship without all the auxiliary cores and quantum cores in it. I just wanted to get anybody's feedback on that. I guess that makes a lot of sense, but obviously when you first bring this ship in, you're not going to be able to use it until it has a whole lot of CPU added to it, a whole lot of it. Now, one other question too, does anybody feel that I should strip the ship down of a lot of these parts? Obviously, I could remove a lot of these high-ticket parts, not the turrets, though. The turrets are son of a gun because they're all retractable, and if I remove a turret, I got a hole in the hull, or I got to put in filler blocks, and that's a real pain in the butt, and I really didn't want to do that. But should I just, I mean, obviously this is meant to be a big high-end, late-game, end-game kind of ship. I mean, should I believe I'm going to have to remove all those extra CPU cores, but how do you feel about the main parts of the ship? I mean, should I be stripping out shield parts and all kinds of things all over the place, or should I leave them all intact on where they're supposed to be and how it's supposed to be set up? That was kind of my original thinking, is I wanted everything in here kind of set up. This isn't the kind of ship you would spawn in normally, you know, if you're like mid-game or something like that. It's not what this was built for. This is like you're thoroughly an end game, quite rich, have been playing the game for countless hours, got lots of stuff around, and you want some big high-end Star Trek-y looking ship for your whatever. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Now, other things too. This thing has a lot of openings, I guess with like the captain's yacht area over here, plus these side doors. Now, there is a creation, I'm going to have to look it up, that author Pear made that kind of works with these side doors already, but it was brought up in comments too that I probably should be building some support vehicles or SVs or whatnot for this as well to accommodate the captain's yacht and the side areas, and I do plan on doing that. It's just if I did that before I released the ship, then I would have to delay the ship even longer. Or if I put the ship out first and then start working on that, I don't know. It's just kind of curious, and I kind of wanted to address that next week in some videos too. Maybe I will start a build that can use one of these two doorways over here. Now this one is a little more universal, but it'd still have to have some tight specs on it, or fairly tight specs on it to make it work and be top mountable as well. And maybe I'll work on like a ship for this in like a little build video or a couple of videos next week, and try to whop something up for this area here. And then I could relay that information on technical specs, like how many blocks tall and wide can it be, and how should you get in and out of the ship to make it work out okay with that bay over there. And the same idea over with these side bays here. These are pretty small, so you're obviously not going to fit too many big things in here. However, on one of the creations that we looked at today may actually fit in there. Anyway, I just wanted to go over all this and talk about this as well. So I'm getting excited, and I got some more work to do though. I got to build 2 major LCDs yet at least, and place probably about another 15, 20 other LCDs throughout the ship in various locations, and do a couple of last minute odds and ends, and I think it's done. I think it's done at this point. So, and and I was glad. Again, I didn't want to settle with this ramp door going down to the not going down to the ground. I know I said I was going to do that last video until I started looking at it again. I'm like, man, no. It would be like the first creation I ever put out to the workshop that I probably got, for size class versus time spent, probably the highest amount of size class versus time spent on a creation. And I'm going to just let something like that slip through the things. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I got to fix it. So this, it's got that little bulgy thing back there, but I've noticed some Star Trek ships have a little bulgy thing back there too. I looked at some more pictures and videos of some Star Trek ships along the way, and kind of seen that some of them do have some kind of thing there. So I don't feel so bad about that little thing, and it makes the hangar door work and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm going to shut up, and awesome creations by everybody today, and you all have yourself a great weekend. I will talk to you later.